All right, this is my new purchase, a 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse GST. This is it's a front-wheel drive turbo. They did not make this particular model with an all-wheel drive turbo if it's the convertible. So this is the convertible, so you could not get an all-wheel drive. Yeah, so we're gonna take a peek at it and see what is wrong with it. And I can tell you real quickly, it's everything. This car needs everything. I got it super cheap. I probably could have argued with the guy and gotten it even cheaper than I did, but he was pretty young and he was pretty cool, and he was pretty hard up for money. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead. He was pretty sad about having to sell it, but he was way in over his head on it, and he had bills to pay, he said. So you know, everything I saw, I definitely believed that. So I don't think he was just making up a sob story. So I said, you know, yeah, let's take a look at this car. We'll see what works, what doesn't. I guess we'll start with the exterior. So this is not the original paint. The original paint was that, I don't know if you remember it, it's like a seafoam green that they were putting on these for a while. And actually, if you come around the back, you can see that this was the original color right here. So that's primer. But this was the original color, and so whoever painted it did an okay job in some areas. Like, you wouldn't guess in some spots that it had been repainted, and in other areas it's very, very obvious. Some spots where they didn't quite get it all the way, some spots where it's got some small drips, or just generally doesn't look like factory paint. So starting off in the rear, you can see that looks like they've done the exhaust. Whoever owned this car, and it's had a few owners, I looked at the Carfax, has definitely, they've done a lot of little stuff to it. They've disconnected things that they didn't want to try and fix properly. They've added things in. I'm still discovering new stuff about it every day. So on the back here, let's see what we have to fix. We've got to, there's no antenna. I don't know what's going on with that. Come around here, and obviously we've got that paint, that scuff on the rear bumper. Small things, you know. Do I want to mess with this broken tail light there? Not sure. Gas door, that should be attached to something, I think. And this doesn't close. It's got a lock where you lock it from the inside, but I don't know if the lock broke, and so they just permanently kept it open or what. Boy, I do not like these rims. So it's got this style of rim all around. I think these are pretty ugly, but that's kind of a low priority, I guess. But yeah, that is not my style of rim. Let's see. Taking a look in the trunk here, we'll see if it opens on the first try or not. Yep. One sec. Okay, well, I guess right there that tells you something about the trunk, doesn't it? It does open, but you got to really fidget with the key and sometimes press down on a certain way. So actually the latch inside does open the trunk, so that's a bonus. All right, so we open up the trunk. These struts do not keep it open anymore, so that just falls if you take your hand off it. And whoo boy, look inside here. I cleaned out the broken beer bottles. And we see all sorts of stuff. I see this cord. Not sure what that goes to. Might have been a CD changer or something like that in the trunk. I think that was an option. We've got broken plastic, random wires and cables. I looked at that, and I think that's, there was a plastic cap in here that tells me that actually might be hot sauce. So we're going to clean that out. Obviously the spare tire is missing. The floor that would cover the spare tire is missing. The carpet. This is actually, I was confused when I first saw this. This is the windshield wiper reservoir. So they put it in the trunk for whatever reason. That's where Mitsubishi put it. So that's my windshield washer reservoir. And you can see it is not hooked up. So we'll figure out what's going on with that. And if you look really closely, there are some holes. Hello. In the bottom here. The guy I bought it from, he's like, oh, I thought those were to help the water drain out. I'm like, there shouldn't be water in it. So, no. So that's the back of the car. You know, obviously that bumper, I might just hide it with some different black paint until I have a chance to replace it or get it properly painted, just so it doesn't stand out as much. You'll definitely be able to tell if I paint over it, but it won't be as bad. Coming along to the side, so let's see, I guess we might as well talk about the convertible top. So this is the convertible top, and it is pretty rough. The weather stripping is kind of ripped in a lot of places. The glue has let go on the interior liner. And hey, take a guess whether or not it can work on its own with the motor. And if you guys know, this thing definitely does not open and close with the motor. You are correct. You can open and close it by hand. It's kind of rough. And I'm still noticing little things like whatever this weather stripping is here seems to have pulled loose. So yeah, and actually over here, part of the arm is actually broken. You can see that is supposed to be one piece of metal, and something snapped that clean in half. So right now, this is purely hand opening and closing. It's not that bad.